Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to Finance with Avern. In this video, I want to tell you about and show you 3 Charlie Munger quotes for financial success. And I'm going to interpret them from my point of view, what I think about when I read these quotes. And Charlie Munger is one of the best investors of all time. Rest in peace. He recently passed away on November 28th of this year, just a couple days ago, and 99 years old. One of the best investors of all time, also known as Warren Buffett's right-hand man. Of course, he has a full, resume himself. Of course, Berkshire Hathaway is a big part of that with Warren Buffett. But Charlie Munger is known for his wisdom, for his clarity, for his intelligence, but also for his Mungerisms. That is like a term that some people use for some of his quotes. It's, 1-2-liners, the ones that are, a little bit more shocking, a little bit more controversial. He's had some recently in the past couple of years about cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. This video isn't about those kind of quotes or those Mungerisms. It's more a line of quotes that can be related to in regards to life and financial success and success in general and just philosophy, really. Some of these quotes, if you really dig down to it, these quotes that I'm going to tell you about can be applied to various things throughout your life, whether it be finances, life itself, philosophy, just wisdom, just, growing, learning, progress, all of that. So before we get into these 3 quotes right here, I want to tell you some more about Charlie Munger for those of you that may be a little bit more unfamiliar with him. So Charlie Munger was born on January 1st, 1924 in Omaha, Nebraska. As a teenager, Munger worked at Buffett & Son, which was a grocery store owned by Warren Buffett's grandfather. Charlie Munger went to the University of Michigan and the California Institute of Technology. However, he didn't have an undergraduate degree, but he graduated magna cum laude from Harvard Law School in 1948. Charlie Munger worked as a real estate attorney for years and founded Munger, Tolles & Olson law firm. And Charlie Munger ran his own investment firm from 1962 to 1975. And according to an essay by Warren Buffett, Munger's investment firm generated compound annual returns of 19.8% during that period, which is great. That's a really good compound annual return right there. So, and some people really don't know about that. Charlie Munger had his own investment firm. They just associate him with, Berkshire Hathaway, which is a great association. He's done some great things at Berkshire Hathaway. And Warren Buffett states that Berkshire Hathaway wouldn't be what it is today and wouldn't have got to where it is today without Charlie Munger. So he definitely gives a lot of credit to Charlie Munger. But yeah, Charlie Munger had his own investment firm between 1962 and 1975 and performed very well. And speaking of Warren Buffett, Munger met Warren Buffett in 1959 at a dinner party and joined Berkshire Hathaway in 1978. And also a fun fact in regards to Charlie Munger joining Berkshire Hathaway in 1978. If you would have invested $100 in Berkshire Hathaway in 1978, now that $100 will be worth around $400,000. Yeah, I can't even finish that without just like, wow. Yeah, so that's how much Berkshire Hathaway has grown since 1978. $100 back then would be worth around $400,000 now in 2023. And Charlie Munger was the chairman of Westco Financial Corporation from 1984 to 2011. He was the vice chairman of Berkshire Hathaway, the chairman of the Daily Journal Corporation, director at Costco Wholesale Corporation, and as an avid philanthropist, Charlie Munger had an estimated net worth of $2.6 billion, which would have been way more than that if he wasn't such an avid philanthropist. So that is, of course, a high net worth, but it's not in top 20, top 100, anything like that. I think it's somewhere around thousands worldwide as far as richest individuals and anything like that. But yeah, so Charlie Munger was an avid philanthropist, gave away a lot of his sales of his Berkshire Hathaway stock and things like that. So, but net worth estimated to be around $2.6 billion. And Charlie Munger is a value investor who liked strong businesses with a big moat. And he wasn't really into being very diversified. He liked to have a handful of very strong stocks that he thoroughly understood. The stocks within that handful could be somewhat diverse or something, but it was businesses that he really understood, business models he understood. He did a lot of research, even though he was known sometimes to be kind of quick-witted and things like that, but he did a lot of deep diving research in companies and businesses before he would invest in them. Now, that's some background on Charlie Munger. Let's get into these 3 fascinating quotes. Starting with the first one, Charlie Munger stated, "It's so simple. You spend less than you earn, invest shrewdly, and avoid toxic people and toxic activities. And try and keep learning all your life, etc., etc. And do a lot of deferred gratification because you prefer life that way. And if you do all those things, you are almost certain to succeed. And if you don't, you're going to need a lot of luck. Now, this is a packed quote right here. There's a lot of great wisdom in this quote. And he breaks it down at the beginning. He just simply states, it's so simple. And it really is. I mean, yeah, this is a long quote, but if you really just bring all this together, it is simple. This isn't hard work to do what this quote states. Spend less than you earn. After your bills, your mortgage, car payment if you have one, things like that. You don't go overboard. Don't buy a lot of things that you don't need. Don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Don't go up above where you need to be. You can get to that level if you do this part. You can get to the part where you can spend more. You can go on vacation more and things like that because you'll have the money for it. If you get in all that debt, the credit card debt, buy a house that's too much for you for a mortgage, buy a car that's too expensive for you, things like that, that's going to put you behind. It's going to take a lot of catching up if you ever can catch up to get ahead right there. So spend less than you earn. Like I stated, simple thing. A lot of people don't do that. And I've been guilty of that, here and there at some moments. But overall, I definitely spend less than I earn. But yeah, so it's so simple right there. Spend less than you earn. You do that right there, that is going to be major in your life. And also invest shrewdly. So when he says invest shrewdly, he means don't just invest in everything. Don't just go with the hype is what I take this as, because he was known to be an investor that didn't just go with the hype. He would invest shrewdly himself because he would do a lot of research before investing in a company. So when invest shrewdly, I would think that's more of like be specific, be particular when it comes to investing. Definitely invest, but don't just invest in anything. Invest with, a scope, basically, with some research. And then he states, avoid toxic people and toxic activities. Yes, I really like that because that is what I try to do in my life. You do that and that's going to help you avoid being negatively affected by toxic people and toxic activities. That can bring you down. That can slow you down. That can hold you down. That can prevent you from progressing, from succeeding. Just don't do it. Like, that's simple. Like, it's so simple. Just avoid those people, avoid those activities. Once you get that real strong mentality, once your mindset gets so strong, you won't even be thinking about trying to hang out with toxic people or do toxic activities. It's just like, let that happen over there. You're over here. You're progressing. You're doing great things. Forget all that other stuff. And he says, try to keep learning all your life. That is very important. Just keep learning. What's important to you? What's going to help you out? Learn about it. It's because it's going to make you feel more confident in that thing as well. And it's going to make you make better choices. Just keep learning, keep reading, keep learning, et cetera, et cetera. And he says, do a lot of deferred gratification. And that quote right there is very interesting because deferred gratification is you don't need that instant dopamine boost. You don't need that instant like, oh, I did something, where's my reward? I did something, where's my reward? But basically where you do something and you immediately think you should get a gold star for it or get some kind of reward or satisfaction from it or feel good from it. Because that doesn't happen in great long-term investing. You invest in something, you continue to invest, it goes up and goes down, it goes all around. And eventually you look back and you're like, wow, great, I invested in that. But the next day, you invest in something, the next day it can go down and then you sell. It's like, well, you don't even give it a chance. You don't give your investment a chance to grow, to compound. Yes. And when he states, because you prefer life that way, when you have that mindset of deferred gratification, you prefer that mindset because you don't need that instant boost. You just live more calmly. You live more at peace because you're just doing things and good things come to you. Good things happen to you because of what you did a year ago, what you did 3 months ago, 5 months ago, 10 years ago. And you just live that way. It's less stressful. It's very much less stressful. That's one thing that I've been doing more and more, deferred gratification. And it's so much less stressful. You don't have to instantly think like, where's the good thing that's supposed to happen? Where's the good thing that's supposed to happen? You wake up, did what I did yesterday work? No. And then he states, and if you do all those things, you're almost certain to succeed. And that's it. That's what I stated at the beginning right there. It's so simple. Like he stated, you do all those things, it's going to help you a lot. And he states that if you don't, you're going to need a lot of luck. So he ends it with a little kind of a witty thing right there at the end. It's like, yeah, people can do all those things right there, spend more than they earn, hang around with toxic people, do toxic activities, not learn a lot, go with the instant gratification. And if they can hit the lottery, they could, get lucky off an investment, so it happens. It definitely happens. You will have people be outliers in this where they did some of these things or all of these things and they still somehow succeeded financially because of a lot of luck. But a lot of luck is very rare. And think of it this way. You cannot need a lot of luck, do all that and succeed nicely, greatly, amazing in different ways. And just think if you did all that and you're doing all that and you get some luck. You do all that, you learn, you invest shrewdly, you spend less than you earn, you don't hang around with a lot of negative people and toxic people and do toxic activities and all that. And then you get some luck as well. Combine all that together. Those are amazing results. So yeah, this quote right here is awesome. It's so simple. You spend less than you earn, invest shrewdly, and avoid toxic people and toxic activities. And try and keep learning all your life, etc., etc. and do a lot of deferred gratification because you prefer life that way. And if you do all those things, you're almost certain to succeed. And if you don't, you're going to need a lot of luck. Boom. That's the quote right there from Charlie Munger in the book Poor Charlie's Almanac. Next quote. Live within your income and save so that you can invest. Learn what you need to learn. Now, this quote is smaller, it's packed, it's important. It's a little bit related to that previous quote, but I like how condensed it is and how to the point it is. Live within your income and save so that you can invest. Now, this adds the saving aspect, which investing and saving go hand in hand. You want to live within your income so you can do that, because saving so that you can invest is going to have a big impact in your life financially. And finances are important. It can lead people to depression, to stress, to a different mentality, to a different attitude. It could, in a good or bad way. So if you live within your income and save it so you can invest, that's going to better help you, not just financially, but also mentally, possibly even physically. Learn what you need to learn is what he states in his quote. And that's specific right there. I like that because this says what you need to learn. You don't have to go out and be a genius at everything. You don't have to learn about this and learn about that. Yeah, I mean, I'm a curious person. I like various different things, not just finance, like history. I think engineering is neat. I think architecture is neat. I think art is neat. There's a lot of things that interest me. I don't know a lot about a lot of things. I know a lot about certain things. I'm into app development. Yeah, I've developed apps. I've designed apps. They're out on the app store right now currently, but I'm not a great, awesome developer. I learned what I needed to learn to make the apps that I wanted to make. And when it comes to finance, I learned what I needed to learn to, of course, to get my degree in, business administration, finance with a minor in economics, but also what I needed to learn to help myself personally, help my family personally. So you have to kind of laser focus and learn what you need to learn, because there's a lot to learn out there and there's a lot of ways to learn things out there. But if you focus in on what you need to learn, it's going to help you better learn what you need to learn. So to help you remember those things and better help prepare you for wherever you go with that education and that knowledge that you have, because you focused in on it. So you're an expert, or you're really good at it, basically, instead of just spreading yourself so thin where you just kind of give up on certain things. Because I've been there before. If you spread yourself so thin to try to learn so many different things because you just want to not absorb that knowledge, that's great. That's good, because there's a lot to learn out here. And that comes back to something else. When people say they're bored or something like that, that baffles me. That always baffles me when I hear somebody say something about being bored. I don't know if I've ever been bored. Maybe as a kid, maybe I said something like that, or maybe I was at some point. I don't know. But as a teenager, I don't think so. As a young adult, I don't think so. As an adult, in these past, whatever time you become an adult officially, but since being an adult, no, I don't think I've ever been bored. And I don't understand how I could be bored with so much to learn in life, so many interests that I have in life. And so, yeah, you can get spread out because there's so much. If you have a mind like that, where you just want to learn so many things and stuff like that, and that will hold you back some. It's interesting. You learn about facts and things like that, and that's great. But it will hold you back from some of the things that you want to learn more of, that you need to learn for whatever it is. If you're in school for law or, medicine or, accounting or whatever, you have to learn what you need to learn at that time to succeed at that. And yeah, you can learn other things like that, but you have to focus in on certain things, for the test, or for the exam, or to graduate, or whatever, for the grades. And that applies to life after school as well. So yeah, this quote is more condensed and packed, but it can be applied in vast areas of life. Financially, definitely for sure, but just in life in general. Live within your income and save so that you can invest. Learn what you need to learn. And that is from Damn Right, Behind the Scenes with Berkshire Hathaway billionaire Charlie Munger. Next quote. Another thing, of course, is life will have terrible blows, horrible blows, unfair blows. Doesn't matter. And some people recover and others don't. And there I think the attitude of Epictetus is the best. He thought that every mischance in life was an opportunity to behave well. Every mischance in life was an opportunity to learn something, and your duty was not to be submerged in self-pity, but to utilize the terrible blow in a constructive fashion. That is a very good idea. Like how he says, that is a very good idea. Like after that, I'm putting that in the quote because that is a very good idea. And I like that he just pretty much put a stamp on it. Like all that I just said, that's a good idea. Like, yes, it is, Charlie Munger. It is indeed. This quote right here, I know it's a lengthy quote right here. And I didn't want to, split it or anything. Like you could easily just take the first half or something and say, hey, that's the quote. However, I want to break this down some. So first off, he just lays out the realism. Another thing, of course, life will have terrible blows, horrible blows, unfair blows. And that's just true. Life has its up and downs. Some things happen to you out of your control. Some things happen to you in a response of something that was in your control. It's really about how you respond to the things that happen to you. What I like to think, I think there's a quote from somebody else or something, and what I just kind of figured out through life is like 80, 90% what happens to you, and 10 or 20 or something percent how you respond to it. Because, you could really break it down, life happening to you, like, hey, you were born, that happened to you. How are you going to respond to it? No, I mean, that's really like basic initial way, but you know what I mean? Like even things that are grandiose, like you were, raised in this neighborhood. How do you respond to that? You went to this school, when you're in grade school, it's kind of out of your control. How do you respond to that? You have whatever so-and-so kind of parents, or maybe no one parent, or, this kind of parent. I'm not going to get in specifics because there's a vast variety of variables and attributes and things that happen among people's lives. And the thing is a lot of it comes down to how people respond to that. And this will go more into the later of the quote, because if you just take the bad things that happen and just say, oh, it's my fault, I should have did this, but I didn't, and woe is me, the self-pity, woe is me, it always happens to me, another bad thing, and just kind of move on with that without learning from it and trying to overcome it and try to, take something from that situation. Maybe you can't take something positive away, but take something constructive away, take something motivating away. And that goes into the rest of this quote. So he says, doesn't matter. And some people recover and others don't. So there it is right there. Some people recover from the unfair blows, the horrible blows, and they emerge from them as a better person, or just emerge from them in general, in a positive or a better way somehow. They just emerge from them, because others don't. Like I said, some people, it just takes away a chunk of them, of their being, of their, soul, or of their mind, or, their heart, or something. It just takes a piece of them each time something like this happens. Less of who they are, who they could be. And then it goes on to say, and there, I think the attitude of Epictetus is the best. And Epictetus was a Stoic philosopher. Stoicism, I would definitely suggest like Googling Stoicism. Very strong thought. I like to practice it myself, honestly. Like, things happen to your life, but it's certain things you just push aside. You just don't even, you address them in whatever way, but you don't, dwell on them. You don't just, oh gosh, that thing from 10 years ago, that thing from 15 years ago, that thing from last month. Whoa. You move on from them. You learn from them. You progress from them. Things like that. You take some kind of ownership or power of it. Like I said, not everything's in your control, but you could take what was in your control, or take that situation and make it somehow in your control as a result of it or something. In there, I think the attitude of Epictetus is the best. He thought that every mischance in life was an opportunity to behave well. So that's, part of that stoicism right there. Every mischance in life was an opportunity to learn something, and your duty was not to be submerged in self-pity, but to utilize the terrible blow in a constructive fashion. And that's what I've been talking about there, is just instead of just letting it dwell on you, whatever bad happened to you, and maybe it was a result of something you did, maybe it was a result of something you didn't do, whatever it is, instead of dwelling on it, self-pity, utilize that, take that, and construct from it. Progress from it, succeed from it, learn from it, something like that, if you can. And if you somehow can't, progress from it, can't learn from it, can't constructive in a, positive way or something like that, then just at least don't dwell on it. Don't go into the self-pity. Don't go into the hole. Don't go to the upside down, the sunken place, or whatever about it. That is part of it as well. And then he sums it up. That is a very good idea. And yes, I think that is a very good idea and a great quote. And all of this right there, of course, this quote is a big, kind of a life quote in general. And I know the video is titled, 3 Charlie Munger quotes for financial success. But life success and financial success go hand in hand sometimes. Not saying life is all about finances, definitely not. But your life will be better if your finances are better. Your finances will be better if your life is better. So there are things that affect each one of those for sure around in your life outside of finance that's going to affect your finances. And things with your finances are going to affect things outside of finances in your life. So with this quote, in a finance sense, something happens to you financially, go into debt or something, or, you have a big bill that happens or something like that. Instead of, dwelling on it and, just not recover from it, or just keep, spending or swiping, increasing the debt and just saying, I can't get out of this. And, this is, and just blaming it on, something out of your control, or blaming it on yourself or something, just something negative, something that was going to put you in a dwelling kind of stressful depression mode. Take what's going on, learn from it. How can I stop doing this? What can I do to prevent this? So if it's the debt thing, what can I do to get out of debt? What can I do to pay more towards this? What can I do with this big bill that came up? Or if it's something, in an educational sense that you didn't know about that happened financially, what can I do now? What can I learn from this so it won't happen again? In an investment, you got a bad investment. You lost all your money. You threw all your money at some, I don't want to say anything specifically. I'm sure Charlie Munger would say maybe some kind of cryptocurrency or something. You threw all your money at some cryptocurrency or some investment or something, and it went to zero. The company went bankrupt, something like that. And the way to not recover from something like that is to say, I'm not investing again. That's it. This is a sham. This is a scam. Something like that. I'm not doing it. I'm just going to, save my money and whatever and put it on a mattress, whatever, something like that. I'm not investment. That's not for me. I can't. I lost money. Remember when I lost money on that? And that won't be constructive at all. That won't be positive at all, because there's so many great investments out there. Yeah, you're going to have the one or two investments maybe that are going to yield negatives, and maybe year over year negatives. And, maybe it comes to a point where you're like, okay, I'm going to take a loss on this, sell what I can, get out, use it as a tax loss harvest situation or something, and put that rest of that money towards a better investment. Or maybe you waited too late and it basically went to zero or something. Definitely should not affect you in a sense of not investing anymore. You should learn from that. Why did that company go to zero? Why did that company go bankrupt? Why did that investment yield negative results? What happened? What's going on in the balance sheet? What's going on in the income statement, the cash flow? What's going on with this company that made it such a bad investment? Did I get led in by the hype? Was it just a hype stock and I got onto the hype too late? What was it that made this a bad investment? Because when you learn from that, there's a better chance you won't make another bad investment. I'm not saying it just takes one bad investment to make one bad investment, but that can, it can go on. Maybe the next bad investment won't be as bad. But basically it is, just learning from that bad investment to make better investments and less bad investments, basically. So yes, this quote right here is a doozy in a sense. It is a big quote, and it's definitely one of those like life quotes. But like I stated, financial success is tied in with life success in general. I know a lot of people's life success depends on their financial success, and their financial success depends on what's going on in their life. So yes, this quote is a very awesome quote right here. And I'm going to state it again. Another thing, of course, is life will have terrible blows, horrible blows, unfair blows. Doesn't matter. And some people recover and others don't. And there, I think the attitude of Epictetus is the best. He thought that every mischance in life was an opportunity to behave well. Every mischance in life was an opportunity to learn something, and your duty was to not be submerged in self-pity, but to utilize the terrible blow in a constructive fashion. That is a very good idea. And Charlie Munger stated this in the 2007 USC Law School commencement address. And that is it with my video on the 3 Charlie Munger quotes for financial success. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something from it, gained something from it, something positive from it, basically. And the thanks to this video goes to Charlie Munger, of course, 99 years old, full of wisdom, full of intellectual ability. Up until, literally, you can go to interviews this year in 2023, like not that long ago before his death, and listen to him speak about just, life and investments. And he was there still. Like his mind was very still sharp. 99 years old. That is very impressive. So yeah, that is it with the video. Hope you all enjoyed it. Take care.